Hey guys, so I'm here with
Anthony from So Sveglio Espresso Bar in Lindenhurst.
on Wellwood Avenue. Me and Anthony go back many, many years. We went to high school together. He started off, working on a garbage truck, and now he's a business owner of a very nice, delicious espresso bar in Lindenhurst. So he's got a great story, and you guys should have a listen. All right, so what we do is we always take it back for as far back as you can go. So obviously we went to high school together, so we have a history already. So I know
Yeah.
some of the story, but basically, when did you start working? Did you work during high school? Did you,
Yeah.
so we kind of go from there. When did you start working? How
High
old?
school, I started summers I would be on the garbage truck, holidays on the garbage truck, and then right after high school, just dove right in.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
your father was involved in that, right?
Yep. It was my uncle's company, Butchie. Bay Ridge Carton was the first company.
Right.
So that was.
Wait, Butchie that used to live on Peninsula in Babylon?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because Steve is
Next
like,
door. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
did I know that? But that was years ago.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we used to go to Steve's too.
Yeah. It was always, we used to go crabbing in the backyard.
Right, right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So then after that, right after high school, was like he got into a little trouble. So then I went to another company. Joe Rowe was the Lemonginos, and from there it was 12 years. Started on the back, helping brew. You're basically throwing garbage bags.
You know what's
for
funny?
hours.
My friends of mine went down to play golf with Lamagino.
They're huge.
Yeah.
So Frank and Joe owned that one,
Okay.
and there was a bunch. There's Anthony and Leo owned like a huge company.
And he just the one that lives in Florida. I don't know them personally.
Yeah.
They just bought that golf course up in
Yeah.
it's not Rocky Point. I forget.
Well, they own Maggio's.
It was
now.
called the Rock or whatever. Oh, they bought Maggio's
Yeah.
garbage?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's Vinny, right? He used to own Neptunes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've been in the garbage business since you can remember.
That's it. Yeah. As far back as probably the ninth grade.
And your dad would help get you shifts
Yeah.
whenever you were available to
My
work.
father was my boss, so
Right.
it was. Started on the. You would think it was easier, but it wasn't. It was harder.
No.
I was a helper on the back of the truck, and then you get your license, started driving. I was in Brooklyn for. I left once and came back, but all together I was there for about 12 years, and then after that I was at Winter Brothers right next door here for the last 4.
Okay. Now, when you went into Brooklyn, like what time did you have to leave to get in?
I would leave the house about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night.
Oh, so you're doing nights? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
always nights. Straight
Always
through was
nights.
nights. The hours there weren't too bad. It was a 6-hour night. Then the drive back to Long Island.
Right.
Sometimes
You
I
were
would
beating
stick
traffic
around.
though most of the time?
Always be traffic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Going in was like a friggin' Royal Rumble.
Oh, it was bad at that time? Yeah.
But coming home was like clear sailing.
The Bell Parkway is always a mess.
One huge pothole.
Yeah.
It's like, but yeah. So then after 12 years, went to Winter Brothers.
So now you straight out of high school, you went full time. But during high school, you worked,
Summers,
summers.
vacations, I
Did
would
you work
jump on.
weekends at all? Or?
No,
No?
that there was always like a Sunday night to Thursday night
Shift.
job. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's cool.
Yeah.
So then you worked there 12 years. And then what made you make the switch to stay more local? Was it you didn't want to have the commute anymore? You made friends with the Winter Brothers?
Well, the
who are neighbors, by the way, the Winter Brothers.
Yeah,
They're
right
right
next
next door to us. Yeah, yeah, right. That big building is Winter Brothers.
yeah.
Well, next time you go out, you see the big green trucks.
So honestly, Christina used to waitress. It was called my God, on Little East Neck Road, Brunello's, the pizza place.
Yeah.
And this guy Tim walks in, and they started talking, and he was related to the Lamborghinos.
Hey, Brunello, is that John's place?
Yeah. Well, now he's in West Islip,
Right.
Little Italy.
You know the whole story with that, me knowing him, right?
No.
So, John is my friend Frank's brother.
Brother.
Yes. So, Capezza, and I used to play softball with John when I was like 19.
Oh, get out of here. He's a good guy.
Because what was the name of the one in West Islip they owned, the pizzeria?
Europa first.
Europa, that's right.
And then Brunello's, now our Little Italy.
Okay.
But yeah, he was like, "Oh, tell him to come over." And it was a better company. It was a real 401k. You got a pension, your medical and everything. It took me like a year to actually say, you know what, let's go over.
Why not give it a shot?
Yeah, but it was they're a good company. They're a good family.
Yeah.
Good, real good. If you want to work at a garbage company, that's
Right.
and it's not the city sanitation. That's where you want to be.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, that's good. So you were there how many years?
about 4 years.
Okay.
I left it, left on good terms, and they actually hired me for a bunch of parties after I left. So I always stayed in
Right.
They opened the autism center across the street here.
Yeah.
I was there for the grand opening.
Yeah. I was supposed to be there, but I was with a customer because Schaefer did the
Yeah,
cut.
yeah. He was.
Yeah.
I remember.
So, but that's awesome. Now that's because one of the sons have autism, right?
Yeah, yeah. One of
Yeah.
their sons. Yeah, they have a lot of. I had a whole wing in there where they have autistic kids, and they give them things to do.
Right, because there's nothing really
Yeah.
for them to do or go
Yeah,
if they're
yeah,
a certain
exactly.
age.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, how did the whole coffee espresso love? Because I remember you doing it when
Yeah.
you didn't have a business just because you liked doing it.
Yeah.
Like when did that? What age did you start doing that?
Right after, I mean, really, when I started working on the truck, all that's open in Brooklyn is cafes, Italian cafes, and it's all that's it. So you get in a shot of espresso, I would get like 4 a night.
Right.
One out there, once on the route, another time on the route before I went home.
Right.
And then it's
All
just
different
kinda-
stops?
all different places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They charge you for it, or they say, "Hey, thank you."
Some, yeah, most of the time there was not that we looked for a freebie.
No, I
It
know.
was
but
always
still,
like
it's
yeah.
nice community.
Yeah, yeah. So I started roasting coffee at home a little bit just for myself, and then I don't know. My wife swears she came up with the idea. Christina swears it was her idea.
But your wife's always right.
Yeah. So I did one party, and then from there it just snowballed. I did a bunch of parties, and I was talking to my landlord now, John Bono, about if he does any corporate parties, and he's like, "Oh, why don't you just open a shop next door? It's for rent."
In Lindenhurst.
Yeah.
On Wellwood
Wellwood
Avenue.
Avenue, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was like November. I went back in March, and it was still for rent. And I was, you know what, I'll take the spot. So we agreed on it on a Saturday.
Take a risk.
Yeah, risk. So the next day they shut the whole country down. The next day,
Oh
I
my
was on
God,
a Saturday.
that's right.
Sunday they were like, "We're gonna shut down for 2 weeks. Flatten
Yeah.
the curve."
Yeah.
Okay.
Did he work anything out with you with rent or anything?
John's awesome.
He's a good guy.
He's good.
Yeah, that's
He's
a
a
kick in
good
the
guy.
nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He helped out a lot in the beginning.
Now, when you opened the place, were you still working the garbage?
Yeah, I did that for 8 months, about 8 or 9 months.
Right.
So I would go in, Winter Brothers hours were a little different. I would go in like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. It was a 12-hour day. So, 12 to 12 or 1 to 1. I had somebody open the shop in the morning. I would get home. I had a newborn at the time. So I'd go home, take a shower, hang out with the baby, Christina, change, go back to work. I would get out of work. I was closing at 8 o'clock at night.
So just so everyone that's listening follows, this is 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I would get out 8 o'clock at night, eat dinner, hang out for an hour, go to sleep by 9 o'clock, and then I was waking up at midnight to go back to work.
So you weren't getting much sleep.
No.
Yeah. I always try to explain that owning a business really takes some years off your life.
My God.
Yeah.
And
With
I
this.
mean, why work 40 hours
When
when
you-
you own a business and work 80?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah.
It's always on your mind. Even when you're not there, it's on your mind. You're
Yeah.
constantly thinking, like, what's going on? Is everything okay?
Well, people always say, you work for yourself.
Yeah.
You don't.
No, you work for every
How many,
customer.
You work for every customer you have.
Everyone that walks through
That's-
that door
that's
is
exactly
is
what
your
it is.
boss.
Yep. Pretty much. So then what was, where did you get to the point where, I guess with the whole COVID thing, because you started right there, that started to open up a bit and then made you more comfortable saying, all right, I could probably leave.
Truthfully, it was more like if I don't quit, this is not going to succeed.
Okay.
Because I'm giving 60 hours a week
To
to them and giving like,
You're only sticking your toe in the water
yeah,
with this.
over here.
Right.
So it was like, what, just do it. And then I left. And then the following year, which was last year, I opened, what was that, 20? Yeah, so the next year I booked like 90 parties,
Oh, wow.
which was phenomenal.
Right.
So that was like I would have never been able to do them because a lot of them were during the week.
Right.
Where I would have to go to work instead, So that was like it worked out.
So you made a choice, you took the risk, and it worked out.
That's it.
But it didn't just, not because of luck, you pushed for those
Oh,
parties.
I think I've been to every catering hall in Long Island. You go try to solicit them, get them to use you as a vendor.
Right.
LinkedIn, I requested so many event planners on LinkedIn that LinkedIn sent me a message to stop requesting people. I never heard such a thing. What do you mean? Yeah.
So that didn't work, or it was just like,
A few-
okay, fine, we're going to give you what you need.
Well,
Yeah.
funny enough, someone from Winter Brothers ended up messaging me on LinkedIn. It was like, "Oh, we saw your car. Oh, we'd love to have you at our employee appreciation." So I responded, "I'd love to be there, but I'm an ex-employee. I don't know how that works."
Right.
They were like, "Get out of here. We didn't know it was you." And they ended up hiring me for that party, and then like 4 or 5 more right after that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then Anthony also helped us this year with the fundraiser we did for the cigar night for the football.
Yep.
Yeah. Which once we get the fundraising going for this new charity,
Yeah, hell yeah.
you'll be our guy,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah, definitely.
So now it's going good,
Now it's good. Winter's a winter.
right?
And we started booking parties already for pretty much halfway through the summer.
Now at the parties, you get help for that, or
I do most of them.
You do most
I do most of them, and I'll have someone cover the shop.
Yeah.
If there's two at the same time, then I have.
Now, when you hire people, you show them how you want, things roasted. And
Yeah. Well, I stopped roasting myself, so the coffee I buy is imported from Italy.
Okay.
Gelato, what's called.
Okay.
So it's a good. It's like top of the line.
Right.
I almost hate being called a coffee shop because it's not a coffee shop. It's a
espresso
cafe.
bar.
Well, espresso bar or a
Right.
cafe. It's different. Nobody uses the coffee I use. It's it's a proper espresso you're getting done the right way.
Right.
You have the gelato also, which is a hit.
Now, what other research did you do to figure all this out? Because it seems like it can be in anything. It's like knowing good wines or good whiskey.
Reading books. Reading books.
The beans for espresso.
Yeah, I have a ton of books. Just coffee books on roasting, on the different species of coffee and all that stuff.
Right.
But the brand that I actually use now is the same brand that all the Italian cafes used to use when I was working in Brooklyn.
Okay, so how'd you make the connection to find that source? Because is it like you could just get online and buy offline?
No, I asked them. They gave me the number of the roast.
Because you're a distributor, really. So you would get lesser rate than if I were as a consumer to buy.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So I reached out to one of the cafes and they told me, they sent me to the right person.
Now, it's like you have to do a certain amount of volume a year for. Well, they kind of just did like handshake deal.
You have to. There's a minimum order, but I'm well above the minimum.
Okay.
Like a case a week is.
Now, is there a special way you have to store those beans?
Nah, the room temperature is good. They're vacuum sealed bags and everything.
Okay.
You don't want it to get too cold. And you don't want it to get too hot either.
No moisture, obviously.
Moisture kill it.
Yeah.
Moisture kill it. And once the bag's open, the clock's ticking.
Okay.
So we try to go through it fast.
You ever have any issues with the beans coming over there? Bags open, or you have to get rid of? No.
Nah,
They're pretty good.
They're pretty solid company.
All right, good.
They're like a mid-size. They're not huge, but they're not small. They're solid. They stand behind their product. Cool. Yeah.
Frank, what were you gonna ask?
What are the majority of types of events that you're hiring?
Weddings.
Weddings.
Yeah, so I'm at Riviera Massapequa is one of the catering halls I'm at. In the summer they book sometimes 3 a week. Right. Last year I was at Kirkland and Ellis, like the biggest law firm in the world, on a Tuesday, and then Wednesday I was in the backyard in Copiague. So, it's
so from any high end to
that's it.
Standard stuff, you'll do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anywhere, as long as there's an outlet, I'm in. But majority is weddings.
That's awesome.
Yep.
What kind of I don't know if you want to talk pricing, because anyone's listening. Like, is it like from here to here you can go?
You can range at the bottom from 600 to like 1,300, depending on what we're doing and if adding on. Have different setups.
And then you also offer some desserts too, right?
Well, the gelato bar I
Yeah.
have also. This is around the same price, but $6.50.
Which is similar to ice cream.
It's if I didn't tell you it was gelato, you'd think it was ice cream.
Yes. Okay. That's so funny.
Here, please.
He was saying that people get confused. They say I don't like gelato, but gelato is ice cream.
Yeah.
Just
it's a little more butterfat and then less air also, so it's a little creamier.
Yeah.
If no one told you, you wouldn't be like, yeah.
Well, gelato sounds a lot better in an espresso bar.
It
or
is.
cafe,
It
Italian
is.
cafe.
You come and you get a real Italian pistachio, none of that neon green.
Right.
Pistachio's not green. It's not neon green. It's almost
color?
like it's like closer to a brown.
Okay.
So people see it and they're like, "What's wrong with the pistachio?" I'm like, "Nothing.
There's no
it's
food
real.
dye.
It's real."
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's like carrots too. Aren't carrots dyed orange?
Yeah, they might.
Is it
Nothing
carrots or
surprises me.
potatoes? Because sometimes I get those blue potatoes. Lissa gets them.
Really?
Yeah, they're like blue and different colors.
I thought that was
and
just
it's like
a JetBlue
organic.
thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a JetBlue thing. No? They had blue chips or something.
They do have that. Yeah, no, that's true. But even like some carrots. Carrots are different
Really?
colors, yeah. So I don't know. Different species, I guess.
Yeah, could be.
I guess you call it species, right? Carrot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, it's
Okay. I'll be like,
Google it.
Spots it. Yeah. Some red potatoes can be dyed to make them look fresher, but not all of the potatoes are dyed.
okay. So what's like a regular potato? Is it the brown with the like whitish looking, like a normal?
Well, the red
You got sweet potatoes.
Red
You got
potatoes are naturally red.
okay.
They're not dyed.
Okay.
I'm going to go out on a limb and just say I believe that brown potatoes are actually brown,
Okay.
and that's where my out on a limb knowledge is going to stop.
Oh, okay. Now we know more about potatoes. I still like when we were talking. We talked a few times at the the cigar night and stuff about espresso and like all the different things. Like it can be overwhelming to know what's good, what people are gonna like, and
It is.
how to make it. And,
When I first opened up, I refused to do like the sugary syrup. Something. I'm not doing any of this. Nothing.
Right.
And now you come in and have like 30 different flavors of syrups.
Of syrups.
On the wall, because it's what people want.
you have.
You
We
know.
have that conversation all the time. Sometimes, like I even find myself doing it with like you telling customers like you don't need to do this.
Yeah.
And like they almost get like, why is he talking me out? And they get
Yeah.
insulted sometimes.
Yeah.
So now it's like I could kind of say that, but also say like, but if you want it, I do
Yeah.
anything you want. This is what I offer.
Right.
But if you want to put syrup all over your stuff,
Well, it's like a macchiato.
Yeah.
Starbucks is an event of macchiato. They're this big. That's a
Right.
macchiato. That's big. So they come in and they ask for a caramel. And right away when they say caramel, you know what they want. They
Sure.
want something that's this big.
Yeah.
And I got to explain, I'll do it for you that way, but a macchiato is this big. Do you want the real one or do you want...
right,
When you hear an Italian accent, you know right away they do not want
right,
that.
right, exactly. So, what would you say percentage of your customers want the real as opposed to want the
I say it's about
the
half.
United States version?
I say it's about half and half.
Okay,
About half and half.
okay.
The some of the iced ones definitely outpace...
One's a lot less calories than the other one.
Oh, sure. I mean, you're talking, not even close.
I like, where was I? I was at my parents' house over the weekend, and they have one of those frothers for the milk. I
Yeah.
was like, I got to get one of those. Just
Yeah.
the coffee better.
Is it steam or is it just like it's spinning
no, it was
around
just
the-
like my
Yeah.
brother was making it for me, and it was just like one of those
The
battery
wand.
operated ones. And just
it's gonna make
froth
sure
it
you
up.
heat the milk up first.
Yeah.
So
See,
it's
we
hot.
didn't do that.
Yeah, so it's hot. It'll be cold.
I would have frothed it up a little more. Yeah.
That affogatos are amazing. You ever come in? Affogatos are.
So how many different, if you can name one, not to put you on the spot, how many different types of coffee drinks are there, and can you name them?
Ooh, yeah. So starting from the smallest, you got espresso.
Right.
You got a macchiato, cortado, obviously doubles, cappuccinos, lattes, mochas, and then any of those could be iced or hot. Flat whites you got.
What's a flat white? I never heard of that.
It's similar to a cappuccino. It's like in between a cappuccino and a latte. So there's steamed milk, no foam.
Okay.
A little more espresso.
Okay.
It's supposed to be small.
Okay.
Cappuccinos are also supposed to be small. 8 ounces is really the biggest.
Right, but you have this much froth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the biggest you should go is like an 8 ounce.
I like cappuccinos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably the second most popular.
Okay.
Aside from a shot of espresso.
Okay.
But and then you get all the flavors you add to it. So we do like I said, I refuse to do this stuff. Now I have peanut butter and jelly drinks and fluffernutter drinks.
Here you are.
Yeah.
Give them what they want, right? Yeah.
My wife's like, "Who are you?"
Yeah. Now, when you do like a catering event, you can't bring all that, right?
I can. It's extra, but just the base. It's espresso, macchiato,
'cause you
cortado,
gotta come
lattes.
prepared. Okay.
Yeah, do hot chocolate, decaf teas.
Right.
But if they want to add the flavors, then
That's
we
good.
could add some flavors. And again, the gelato, the same thing.
Right. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So now you're in Lindenhurst, you're on Wellwood. You are involved also Knights of Columbus in there, right?
Yep. Knights of
Yeah.
Columbus.
So now, how does that all work? That's just like community.
Yeah.
That village.
Yeah, we're in the village there. They're actually working on the new hall on Broadway.
Okay.
But Lindenhurst Village is awesome though. Like the people that actually are in the village hall and everything, if there's a way they can help you,
Right.
they help you.
So now they approached you, or you approached them, or was it making?
Knights of Columbus?
Yeah.
Was he approached me, Pat.
approached you.
Yeah, Pat
Okay.
approached me.
Because we always explain to the kids, like I said, I go back to West Balin where we graduated and
Yeah.
talk to these kids, and a lot of the questions they ask me is how do you get yourself these opportunities? And
Yeah.
I explain you have to put yourself in that position.
You'd be surprised how many people would say yes if you just ask. You don't want to ask them because you feel like they're this big person.
Right.
They're so important. And meanwhile, 10 years ago, they were just like you. Maybe
Right.
even not even.
and they just want to help you.
Yeah, that's
it's,
it.
It's funny because I use the, everyone's afraid to talk to the pretty girl.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like everyone's afraid, so no one talks to the pretty girl, and then the
Right.
pretty girl goes, "Why does no one want to talk to me?"
Yeah,
So if
exactly.
you go up and talk to the pretty girl, how do you think I got my wife and your wife?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
So it's
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah, you'd be really surprised. I mean, come on, guy from West Babylon, no college, nothing, ends up at Kirkland and Ellis, Lexington Avenue, 50th floor because you asked.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's just...
How did that come about? You just knew someone that worked there?
It was like an ex-employee of Christina's that was working there at some point, and I forget exactly how that happened, but they reached out to me, and it's like, how do you end up there? It's just,
Yeah. No, it's
But
awesome.
you just
Sky's the
gotta take
limit
a
when you
chance.
have a business and you put yourself
You
out
have
there
to.
to be in those
You
positions.
have to, because if you don't, then you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
You have to ask. You have to
Yeah.
take the shot.
Yeah, and Lindenhurst is great too because you got so many local businesses right there.
Yeah.
Me and Liz just went to that garage workout thing.
Oh yeah, I
Yesterday.
heard.
Yeah,
I heard the
because Mike
maniacs
was
in there.
telling us we got our butts kicked.
I
so
heard the maniacs.
It's good, yeah. So, but then you got the restaurants, so the restaurants help you, So
More and more opening like every other month. It
who
feels like.
we're gonna probably have on soon. It's actually Ed's daughter, Lauren, and her two partners.
Yeah.
They own Hermana's restaurant, right?
Right next door to me.
Right next
Stay
door.
right next
Yeah.
door. Yeah.
So
Good
so
spot.
It's a good thing. So everyone gets along. Everyone helps each other. It's a good community.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
If there's a way, like I said, even like the mayor of Lindenhurst and like everybody else, they're all, the McCaffrey's right across the street from me. Legislator McCaffrey's right across the street from me.
Right.
I drove him crazy when I was first opening.
Why is that?
They gave me a big problem with the grease trap. Not him, Suffolk County gives
Okay.
so you have to have a grease trap, even though it was just coffee because it was milk. So like we fought it up and down and everything. He made it as easy as it possibly could be.
Okay.
But they still Suffolk County's pretty hard headed.
Now, what do they do with the grease? They just come in and inspect it?
No. So you need it. It has to be underground, very
Right.
underground in the parking lot, 6x8,
Okay.
and it has to get pumped out. Like I don't pump it out that often because
Which would probably go to Clearflow. Our buddy Steve.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But you won't need it because you're just coffee.
Yeah. Well, no, I needed the grease trap. I had,
you
I
did?
had to put it in. Yeah.
Okay, wow.
I lucked out. I mean, brand new, those were like 30 grand.
Yeah.
But there was something similar on the ground. I was able to convert it. Just had to dig a hole. The whole parking lot had to get dug up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a mess.
Okay.
But
Now, did the landlord help you out with that?
yeah,
All right, good.
yeah. Honestly, I can't say enough. John's like one of the best
You got
as
lucky.
far as landlord goes. He's a good guy.
Yeah. All right, so that's good.
Yeah.
You got people who like you that want to help
That's
you.
it, yeah.
That's important.
And that's the one thing is not burn bridges and not be an idiot. And people will like you.
Yeah. It's awesome that when we have people come in and tell their story, that everyone inadvertently says the same thing, just in their own language. And I want that to really reflect to the kids because
Yeah,
they
sure.
all need to hear this.
It's your personality is one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
If you go in like who you think you are, and a lot of people are going to be turned off like that.
Yeah.
Be honest, and this is
Shake hands, look people in the
Right-
eye.
right in the
say,
eye.
Say please, say thank you. Like, it's
Exactly.
that easy.
Yeah.
Like it's that easy to have a successful life.
and don't
successful
lie
business.
because it comes out. If you want to portray yourself as something that you're not, it's going to come out. It's going to come out a few months later.
Absolutely.
When you're seeing somebody constantly every day.
Yeah. Well, that was how it was when I worked in the nightclubs, right, Frank? How many? I don't know if you want to call them posers. I mean,
Yeah.
guys walk in and
Yeah.
spending all this money. Like,
Yeah, their
I
bank
just saw that
account's in
guy
their
at the gas
pocket.
station driving like a Corolla.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way.
Their whole bank account is in their
Yeah,
pocket.
exactly.
That's
Like,
it.
there's
That's
no
it.
way. There's
That's
no
it.
way. I'm trying to figure this
On
out.
Friday, they spend it Friday night.
Yeah. Oh,
But
that's how it is. Yeah.
It's just a shame. Like in school, they don't really give you options in school. They kind of just groom you for the next step of school.
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
That's actually that's like my favorite topic
Yeah.
because we went to the same school. You were a grade below me.
03, yeah.
Right. Now, were you ever offered the BOCES or anything like that?
No.
Now,
never
technically, we would have been both candidates for that, and neither one of us were offered because
Not that I remember anyway. I don't. Think
I was
it
never offered it. So the stigma is the teachers, what I think, and I don't want to insult anybody, but they put the kids that they think would be best for that program.
Could be.
And what happens is every kid needs to be offered these programs, which is why what we're
Right.
trying to do with the charity. And if more kids like me, like you, were offered these opportunities at an earlier age,
Right.
we probably would be even further along than where we are now.
Sure.
And and like I said, it's similar backgrounds that we both come from. We weren't exactly like we were always working. We were always missing things because we were working. Because we even dated girls that were friends years ago. Like that's how long we go back. Like and like we were always working, doing things, and like trying to get ahead. And you put the sacrifice in your 20s, and you get to your 30s, you're still sacrificing, but you get to your mid to late, and
you
you're
can
sitting
coast a
pretty
little,
good. Yeah.
But they don't really tell you outside of school. Like, they don't mention that a hairstylist could make $1,000-$2,000 a week. They don't mention you can make $1,000 for a girl to be a hairstylist. So, and they kind of frown upon it. I feel like to go right to work, they kind of frown upon it. Meanwhile, I have a friend's mother who paid off her house and she was a hairstylist. You know what I mean? none, mortgage free. So like you can, there is other ways to make money.
Yeah.
Whether it's working with your hands, or nothing against the office jobs. Obviously those are all great jobs.
Yeah.
But they don't really give you the options. I think they
But as
should.
long as you're in an office being personable.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be in office, maybe you're going to sales, maybe
Right.
you're going to, higher up position.
Right.
Like I took him over to the supply house around the corner. I told him
Right.
there's 10, 12 different jobs right there you could pick.
Right. And but grow. You start somewhere. There's a kid. He comes into the shop all the time, and he's always quitting his jobs, and he gets his job doing security, and he thinks he should get the. I'm like, oh, you can't. You're not going to get the best hours.
No.
You start at the bottom, and then you work your way up to that point. You don't graduate to CEO. And if you did, congratulations, because good for you.
I think that has to be stressed the most to the kids. Because,
Work. Got to work.
I like, once again, circle back to when we went to school.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure it still goes on because all these kids tell me they want to be in management. And I tell them, you want to be in management, but what do you want to manage?
Yeah.
You can't manage anything you don't know.
Right.
So the best way to be a good manager is to learn from the bottom up. And this way you have the respect of everybody else. When you're the manager, you can say, if someone complains about their job, well, I've done it, and this is the way I did it, or...
And you know where they're coming from also.
Exactly. So it's a mutual respect. But, that discussion, just that simple discussion alone, I think will change things for our future.
Big time.
It'll be good.
What's the entitlement, I guess, to the younger, generations.
Well, like I said, I think it's because the trades and the hairstyles and the different things and the espresso cafe, whatever you did, it was looked down upon. It was be a lawyer, be a doctor, be a teacher, be
That's
this,
it.
be that.
There's like 5 options. I can't do any of those things.
Square peg, round hole.
Meanwhile, I was on a garbage truck, a place like Winter Brothers, and you're making a really good salary.
Yeah.
You don't realize that.
And now you could have stayed there and been very successful.
Oh, I would have. If there's a place, if I ever had to go back, I would have no issue doing that.
Right.
There's guys that are making good money, and
I'm sure there's opportunity to move up that ladder too.
There's plenty, if not there, somewhere else.
Right.
It's a good, it's a solid job.
Yeah.